Hello students, in our last lecture we had seen different forms of communication like written communication, oral communication and non-verbal communication. We had studied the merits and demerits of both written communication and oral communication. I had introduced the other type of communication, that is non-verbal communication, to you all in my last lecture. So I will just quickly revise what is non-verbal communication so that we can proceed with our lecture. Non-verbal communication can be defined as communication that involves neither written or spoken words but takes place without use of words. It includes body language, facial expression, eye contact, gesture, head, body and shape, posture, appearance and silence. All this we had studied in detail in our last lecture. Today we are going to see the merits and demerits of non-verbal communication. We'll start with merits. First is reliability. Now, student, non-verbal communication is known for its reliability. The body language or gesture clearly show what the speaker is thinking about. One can easily understand the speaker's emotion by his facial expression. So we can say non-verbal communication is reliable. Other is quickness. Messages are conveyed quickly to others by using non-verbal form of communication. Here we don't have to waste time in thinking or speaking or writing. You just convey it with your facial expression or body posture, like that. Quickness is useful from both the sender's and receiver point of view, because if both are using non-verbal form of communication, it takes very less period of time. The other thing is economic communication. Here we can say low expenditure is involved in conveying message in this form of non-verbal communication. Now, due to economy, all the business units that use non-verbal communication are benefited. It is mainly used within the organization. The other thing you can say is accurate understanding. Now, managers of a business firm can easily and accurately make the customers and the employees understand their message and can also receive their messages in the same way. This, you can say, gives the way for better understanding between two sides. Here both manager and the employees, or you can say customers and the employees, they understand each other very nicely. Meaning of oral communication is enhanced. Now here the receiver may fail to understand oral communication if it is not combined with some non-verbal communication. Oral communication, we had seen, it requires non-verbal form of communication for its effective understanding. The other thing is useful for illiterates. Now, if the person is uneducated, the person doesn't know to read, doesn't know to write, doesn't know the way of speaking and all, so he can use this non-verbal form of communication. That will be very helpful for him. The other thing is natural way. Now, non-verbal communication is a natural way of communication. Here you don't have to teach someone something how to use non-verbal form of communication, or you don't have to go for classes to learn how to use non-verbal form of communication. It is in our nature, inborn. So we don't have to you can say lot of efforts. You don't have to take lots of efforts to understand it or to learn it. Understood? All these are what? Merits of non-verbal communication. Now we'll see what are the demerits of non-verbal communication. Now, student, this non-verbal communication lacks secrecy. Now, in this form of communication, one's expression and gestures are seen by other person too, apart from the person to whom the message was conveyed. Therefore, this form of communication lacks secrecy. Now, for example, you are with your friends. There are 4 to 5 friends, you are having, you can say, non-verbal communication with one of your best friends. So other who are there with you, they will also see what is going on in between both of you. So that's why we can say this is one of the demerits of non-verbal communication. The other thing is misinterpretation. Now sometimes the receivers of the message do not understand the message. In such a situation, the gesture accompanying the message are misunderstood, and thus the whole communication proves to be a waste. The receiver of the message may be confused in various situations. Now you can say, for example, if the person is telling you something and he wants the answer in yes or no, if you don't nod your head properly, if the person is saying no and you think that no, the person no has nodded the head, means what, he is saying yes. So it causes what, miscommunication here. So that is also one of the drawback. The other thing is physical presence. Now this form of communication becomes successful when both the parties, the receiver and the sender, both are present with each other. If it is not so, non-verbal communication cannot work properly, because you cannot make use of signs or signals without the person present in front of you. Then other thing is, it is applicable only in brief messages. This communication works correctly when small messages are to be conveyed, but when messages are long and detailed ones, this form of communication cannot succeed. How many times you will make use of signs or signals using your facial expression or eye contact, all this thing. For all the lengthy messages, you usually require written form of communication only. The other thing is, it is difficult to study. Now the message conveyed in this form of communication is difficult to follow. One can understand the message correctly only when one knows the meaning of the gesture. Therefore it is more difficult to study this form of communication. The meaning of the gesture generally changes according to place to place or situation also. So that you have to keep in mind. Both the receiver and the sender, they must understand the message conveyed through non-verbal way. After that, difficulty in collecting information. Now messages conveyed by this form of communication are in form of gesture or body language, but messages pertaining to past event cannot be conveyed in the same way. Therefore the right amount of information is hard to collect for future record, and there is lack of record of information given in the past in this type of communication. So this is, you can say, one of the major drawback. Then no written proof. Now this form of communication depends on expressions, feelings, gestures, etc. Hence written proof is not there in case of any dispute in future. If any problem arises, there is no written proof of it. So the gestures or expression can be recorded through videography, but it would be very expensive, and all this system is used on special occasions only and might not be easily available every time a person is interacting or having a non-verbal communication. So this is also a major drawback. I hope you have understood the merits and demerits of both non-verbal communication. Now we'll see what are the channels of communication in the organization. Students, each business house is concerned with two types of communication, that is external and internal. External communication means it has to communicate with other business houses, banks, government offices, the press, customers, the general public, etc. And internal communication consists in transmitting information within the organization. Internal communication may be again of two types, that is formal or official, or you can say official, and the other is informal. So today we are going to see this both, formal and informal, which is within the organization. Now here student, There is exchange of information in an organization through a communication system. For example, messages are transmitted from one person to another or from one place to another. The success of an organization or an institution depends to a large extent on the system of communication. The communication system is based on the size of institution. When it is small, an informal channel of communication, you can say, is good for communicating. However, in a large organization where there are number of persons employed, then you can say communication system is formal or it becomes formal. So from this we can conclude that the channels of communication in the organization, within the organization, are of two types, that is formal communication and informal communication. I hope you have understood this, the merits and demerits of non-verbal communication, then formal and informal communication. In my next lecture, I'll discuss with you all the formal and informal communication in detail. We will also see the merits and demerits of formal and informal communication. Thank you.